thing off
Oh,
already?
yeah, I am. Want to take it off now.
How do you feel? And take us through it and going through it.
Yeah, I feel great. Rehab and PT's been going great so far. I've kind of just been comparing everything to the first time I had Tommy John, and I would say it's, been going a lot smoother than the first go-around. So, yeah, I'm in a good spot.
In what way? Now you have experience to kind of feel it.
Just getting the range of motion back and stuff. I remember the first TJ I had, it took a little bit longer to get full range of motion back and stuff. And I would say after 5 to 6 days, I was kind of already full range, moving it around, felt comfortable out of my brace and stuff. So it's been good.
How would you describe just what it was like for you processing the surgery, going through it, and kind of just digesting your season ending at that point?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get an MRI, you're kind of crossing your fingers, just hoping it comes back clean and stuff. And once they kind of saw there was some stuff getting a little bit worse from the last few times I've gotten an image of it and stuff, so it made sense to kind of go in there and kind of figure out what it was. It was best case scenario as far as it just being a repair of everything that was going on in there. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it sucks and stuff, but as soon as you find out the news, you kind of just start processing it, trying to figure out what the next steps are, what's the best plan of action, for me and my family, the team and everything. And, yeah, I mean, we're in a good spot, just taking it day by day, just trying to, conquer each day as far as PT and stuff goes, and, one day at a time, and eventually we'll be at the end of the tunnel.
It'd be pretty isolating to be out there by yourself, stuck in the process. What's this like to be back around the guys?
Oh, it's been awesome. I'm going to try and come as much as I can. I was been telling the guys and the coaches I want to come once every other homestand, a few times a month, just to kind of, get out of the Arizona heat for a little bit, starting to warm up a little bit. But, yeah, it'll be good.
When you first get...
Sorry.
No, it's not exactly warm here right now.
No, it feels great here. It feels great here compared to Arizona right now.
When you first get the diagnosis, does it feel a little daunting what you got to go through, and then how do you sort of get past that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough just because I was somewhat performing still, I was pitching, somewhat to the capability I was liking and stuff. But as far as the long-term picture and stuff, it just kind of made sense to go ahead and go through with it and be able to come in on the back end and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it sucks when you get the news initially and stuff, but, I mean, like I said, you just immediately start, planning a course of action on what's best.
What is your preliminary sense of when you could throw a baseball again, or when you could maybe pitch competitively?
Doc said, from what I know, the doc said 6 months after surgery, so 6 months is when I would start throwing again. And then after that, I don't really know. I haven't asked too many questions beyond that, but I feel great.
What's it like watching the team? You can keep an eye
Yeah.
on stuff and with how well they've been playing?
Yeah,
you want to be a part of it?
Yeah, it's awesome to watch. I mean, obviously, I'd like to be out there playing with them and stuff, but it's just it's fun being a fan a little bit, just watching from my couch. It's funny, Libby and I and Bo, we schedule our days around what time the game's starting, so we make sure we're all on the couch. He's got his toys in front of the TV ready to play and stuff. So it's been good. It's been kind of fun to watch.
Just you've been the young guy who's getting the opportunity. What's it like to see Cade right now kind of get this opportunity? And you don't want yourself to be out or Shorter to be out, but kind of opens the door for him to take that next step for himself.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for things for that to happen, there's usually injuries involved and stuff. That's kind of how the nature of the beast goes when it comes to the business side of things and whatnot. But it's been awesome to watch him step up and make his debut and everything. It's been really fun to watch. Sent him a text when he was pitching, after he was done pitching and stuff, and if he had any questions and whatnot, I was always there. And it's just been really fun to watch. It's always really cool to watch younger guys come up, get their feet wet and stuff. It's just a cool experience.
So how much do you have to wear that thing?
8 weeks total. 8 weeks total.
Shoto was saying that he actually texted you when he initially
Mm-hmm.
started. Can you describe just what you were, if maybe you've even talked to him since, and just how he's managing?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously dealt with some hamstring stuff in my career and stuff, so he was just, texting me saying he might have some questions along the way as far as what I've dealt with and stuff, and I was just, relaying that I'm, there for him, and any kind of question he has, we can get the translator, sit down and, chop it up and figure it out.
I know you've gone through TJ before, but talking to J-Mo, he said he approached his second one much differently than his first. Are you approaching this any differently, whether it be mentally or physically?
Yeah, I think you do. I definitely can attest to what he's saying. Just there's a different mentality once you've already been through it. You kind of know what the end of the tunnel looks like. I remember the first time I was going through TJ, I was like, am I going to throw the same? Is the ball going to come out different? There's so many thoughts that are running through your mind. And, with this one, just I can tell already, it's going to be the same when I get back. If anything, it's going to be better. So you're just kind of in a different state of mind.
When we talked to Tommy right after, he got emotional talking about this situation. Just when you have a staff that kind of cares that much that it impacts them that way. family. Just what does that mean to you? Just kind of that relationship that you guys have all established here.
I mean, it means the world. I mean, these guys here, I was drafted by the Cubs in 2014, so I'm, over 10 years in the organization and stuff. So these guys around here have kind of seen me from, at my rawest right out of high school, and they've seen me slowly develop into what I've become today. And, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of, years of, blood, sweat, tears, just grinding, trying to get to the big leagues. And then you get to the big leagues, you start to, flourish and become, a household name and stuff. And just all that, I think that's kind of what he was probably thinking about and stuff. So, I mean, it means the world to me, to know that the organization, the staff, the coaches care so much about me, and the feeling's definitely mutual.